They said that before reclaiming what it had lent, the earth would send a warning. Yet Baba Vanga spoke of a country that would not be granted that chance. No tremors, no rumblings, only absolute silence. And in a single instant, it would vanish. An entire nation swallowed by darkness, echoing like the lament of a lost era. For years, that blind woman of the Balkans whispered of a sudden disappearance, a land consumed not only by water, but by betrayal, human blindness, and an ancient judgment. At the time, her words were dismissed as poetic mystery. Today, as tectonic plates and political borders crack, each syllable carries a sinister weight. She warned, "The day will come when the earth will recoil before a flag, and the world will forget its name." Many believe she referred to a nation surrounded by a silent threat, one that neither satellites nor scientists can fully foresee. That prophecy, once confined to fragments, now unfolds before our eyes. Before you dive into this story, know this: once you enter this video, you will never see a map the same way again. So please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you wish to support our investigations, become a member. But do not stop there. Watch through to the end, for this message may forever change how you view the world. Baba Vanga's warnings never came with names or exact dates. She spoke in symbols, in feelings. For this vision, she is said to have said, "One night the ground will spout water instead of the sky, and the land will devour its people. At dawn, the map will be redrawn. There will be no alarm, only silence." We now understand that her description alludes to a real geological hazard, sudden subsidence and coastal liquefaction. Over the past 5 years, from Southeast Asia to Europe and from the United States to Southern Asia, unexpected sinking has been recorded. Entire neighborhoods descending inches each year, with no great storms or tsunamis in sight. But Baba Vanga did not speak of gradual decline. She foretold an instantaneous collapse. Prophecy analysts distilled 3 key clues from her pronouncements: water emerging from beneath the surface, indicating aquifers breaching the Earth's structure; a major coastal city, a port or naval base left vulnerable; and an ignored warning, as laughter would drown out the sound of the ground splitting. Using those criteria, 5 potential victims emerged: Indonesia, Japan, the Netherlands, Bangladesh, and certain regions of the United States, Louisiana or California. Each has already experienced unsettling phenomena, from slow slip earthquakes along the North American Pacific coast to Asian islands shifting in elevation. Yet recent research has revealed alarming data from the floor of the Caspian Sea and the basin off Turkey's southern coast. That shoreline, scarred by ancient faults, now shows unprecedented subterranean pressure. Could Turkey be the destined nation? Baba Vanga offered another dark hint: the eagle will fly overhead and find no place to land. Some interpret this as a message to the United States, a nation once thought invincible, now watching its coastal metropolises slowly give way to the sea and strained pumping systems at their limit. While the world braces for digital wars and fears artificial intelligence, a silent threat grows beneath our feet. In studies conducted in 2024 and 2025, geophysicists confirmed what Baba Vanga had intuited: the stability of the ground is in jeopardy. In New Orleans, a series of small tremors rattles foundations. In Jakarta, entire blocks sink more than 4 inches each year, forcing the government to move its capital to Borneo. In Venice, each high tide imperils historic structures as tourists look on in disbelief. And in the United States, regional economists calculate that a single moderate earthquake or hurricane could submerge parts of Louisiana overnight. Exactly as the prophecy describes, no combat, no warning, just the hush before impact. Scholars of prophecy return to her words. A flag will vanish, not by the force of another people, but by yielding to its own ground. 5 countries stand under that sentence. Bangladesh, barely above sea level. The Netherlands, held back daily by dikes and pumps. Indonesia, relocating its administrative seat. The Maldives, so low that the slightest rise in the ocean would be fatal. And portions of the United States, from Florida to the California coast, where aquifer collapse and tectonic strain converge. Should any of these nations disappear overnight, the political shock would be devastating. And that was the core of Baba Vanga's warning, a spiritual turning point. She said, "The earth falls silent before it breaks, yet people keep dancing, oblivious to the trembling ground." Cruel irony. Luxury skyscrapers continue to rise by treacherous waters, even as foundations weaken. In Miami, hastily erected seawalls appear. In Venice, makeshift walkways struggle to contain erosion. In Japan, new nuclear reactors are built atop active fault lines. It begs the question, why do we risk everything, even knowing the danger? In 2025, unexplained phenomena surface everywhere. Booms without clear source along European shores, tides that retreat without reason, satellite readings revealing anomalous heat below silent plates, fishermen in the Andaman Sea reporting currents moving unnaturally. Along the Cascadia subduction zone, slow-slip tremors considered preludes to a megatrust quake have become more frequent. These are the whispers Baba Vanga spoke of, echoes of an ancient omen. In one rare recording from 1993, she reportedly declared, "The earth reclaims what was taken in vain. Lands born of greed will crack, and the sea will remember." This goes beyond science. It is a karmic admonition. Places ravaged by human greed and environmental destruction, diverted rivers, drained marshes, artificially expanded coastlines, will pay the price. The prophecy transcends natural disaster. It is a moral reckoning.
On the geopolitical stage of 2025, island nations quietly negotiate refuge in foreign lands. Governments purchase inland territories away from unstable coasts. Climate migration is already underway, and relocation plans have become official policy. Clearly, Baba Vanga's vision of a nation vanishing without trace and its people left adrift mirrors the genuine anxieties of millions. If Bangladesh sinks beyond repair, where will its millions go? If New Orleans succumbs to a quake and storm in succession, who will inherit its silent streets? And beyond that, who owns the sea that swallows a nation? Baba Vanga spoke of no evacuation. She said the lights would stay on, families sleeping in faith of sunrise until currents sealed doors and windows. It was the ultimate failure of communication, warnings ignored by economic interests and political timelines that delay crucial action. In a hyper-connected world, this seems impossible. Yet bureaucratic inertia and corporate skepticism can silence the most urgent alarm. If you live near a vulnerable coast, consider this. Are your authorities truly prepared for a sudden collapse? Would you trust firefighters, engineers, and politicians to give you time to act? Share your thoughts in the comments, especially if you reside in a high-risk area. Baba Vanga left another haunting image. Children will look at maps and ask, what was once there? After disappearance, the nation's name would become a battleground, erased from books, databases, and collective memory for political convenience. A new narrative war would erupt, the fight for the right to remember. And the threat extends beyond land. She foretold that when one nation is lost, another will endure only to tear itself apart from within. Pairs of nations, United States and Japan, Indonesia and China, Bangladesh and India, Turkey and Russia, would find themselves entangled. One vanishes physically, The other fractures through social, political, or spiritual collapse. The silence after the first fall would ring alarms for the second, not a flood, but an invisible war within. Baba Vanga also spoke of time. You will know the hour has come when the sand no longer falls as before. An inverted hourglass, symbolizing a compressed perception of time, events flashing by like lightning. Psychologists call this time compression, moments that feel eternal and days that pass in seconds. She said this distortion between clock and consciousness would be the effect of such an abrupt loss. Finally, her message transcends destruction. She left an enigma. When waters cover the land, the sky will open. Two paths will appear. One leads to fire, the other to luminous mist. Only the awakened will know which to take. That dilemma represents two human reactions, retaliation and division, or healing and planetary solidarity. The ultimate lesson is that physical collapse demands a moral choice: succumb to fear or awaken to a greater unity. In sum, this is Baba Vanga's prophecy, not a call to panic, but to vigilance and responsibility. If her words ring less like mystery and more like reality today, it is because in August of 2025, sinking cities, strange sky patterns, and forced migrations confirm the clarity of her vision. The Earth knows no borders. We are connected by tectonic and spiritual pressures. And when one flag is erased from the map, every other flag changes too. This is the channel's purpose: to explore those hidden links between past and future, science and mystery, nations and souls. If you've watched this far, it is because you look beyond headlines, feel the subterranean rumblings, and recognize patterns. So subscribe, like this video, share it with those who doubt the power of prophecy, and become a member to support our long-form, in-depth research. Your support enables us to delve into the forgotten, the hidden, and the nearly lost. And if this message resonated with you, leave a super thanks. It is a simple gesture that shows you believe these warnings matter. Now, in the comments, which nation do you think stands greatest risk? Do you believe it has already begun or is yet to come? And above all, what must the world do to avoid becoming the next erased flag? Prophecy is not an inevitable verdict, but potential for choice. Having heard it, you can no longer ignore the call. Stay alert, stay responsible, and above all, stay connected.